Hello, YouTube world. I want to talk to you real quickly about the shooting in Uvalde, Texas this week. I want to look at a couple of things. So, as we know, this should be pretty obvious to most people. The shooter, Salvador Ramos, was 18 years old. I'm sure that stood out to a lot of people. 18 years old, that's a 666 number. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. A 666 number 18, Salvador Ramos, the shooter. And, so often we find occult and satanic numbers with these mass shootings. And if we look at his name, the name of the shooter, Salvador Ramos, Ramos has gematria of 66. In the most common form of gematria, where A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, D equals 4, to Z equals 26, so on and so forth. Ramos or Ramos equals 66. So 18 years old, 666. In gematria, the name sums to 66. And in the reverse reduction method, it also sums to 33. So you have a 66 and a 33 in his name. And as we look at this, we just see more and more of these occult numbers and bizarre things lining up with this shooting. So, as many have probably heard, apparently someone propped a door open before this shooter went into the school. And they're saying that it was a teacher, apparently, had propped a door open, then went back inside and made a phone call, which is very bizarre. Why a door just happened to be propped open, obviously, for the shooter to walk right in. But we read here, that the suspect then entered the school via the prop door at 11:33 a.m. So the shooter enters the building at 11:33 a.m. There's your 33. I mean, what are the odds that the exact time he enters the building is a 33 number? And we see even more as we look at this headline. The wrong decision. Texas DPS says local police made crucial error as school shooting continued. And the police response with this was very bizarre. I don't want to get too much into that, but as you've probably seen, mistakes were made. It took them an hour and a half or however long, and very, very bizarre. They wouldn't go in. They wouldn't let parents go in to the building. It was clearly mishandled. I don't want to get too much into the details of that, but the police response very bizarre. Obviously, the door was propped open beforehand for the shooter to walk right in. I noticed this was quite striking to me. If we read this detail in a Facebook post, March 22nd, the school district's police department said it had hosted an active shooting training the previous day and had already hosted several others with the goal to train every Uvalde area law enforcement officer so that we can prepare as best as possible for any situation that may arise. Notice that date, March 22nd. So on March 22nd, the school district's police department held an active shooter training to prepare for such event. March 22nd, well, what's that numerology? 322. Where do we see 322? Oh, right. Skull and Bones, the 322. What are the odds that we would see that they just happen to hold an active shooter training exercise on 322. Just like the shooter enters the building at 11:33, 18 years old, 666, with the name numerology of 66. Just too much to be a coincidence. When you look at how strange this situation was, the way the police responded, the door that was propped open for him to walk right in. I don't want to speculate too much, but something is obviously very amiss with this situation. You know, the live exercise beforehand on 322, kind of like with the whole, CV pandemic, the event 201, and, these types of things. You all often see these trained exercises beforehand, um, these training events. So, and of course, we have Joe Biden coming out and immediately calling for gun control. This headline really says it all from CBS. Biden says the Second Amendment is not absolute after Texas shooting. And that tells you everything. Um, if you're a liberal, and I don't like to get into politics, but anyone that is in agreement with these gun control measures and this fervor to go, to take away guns, this is not about trying to ban assault weapons or common sense gun laws. That's the verbiage they use, is common sense gun laws. No, they're looking to dismantle and get rid of the Second Amendment and take away all guns. That's what this is about, and this headline tells you so much. Biden says the Second Amendment is not absolute after Texas mass shooting. They want to do away with the Second Amendment. And if you listen to that short speech that Biden gave after the shooting, you can go do that on your own time. First, he quoted Psalm 34 from the Bible. And then after that, he took God's name in vain at least 5 times, talking about the need for gun control, breaking the third commandment, taking God's name in vain. It was at least 5 times using the name of God in vain to promote his own political agenda. But this tells you everything. The Second Amendment is not absolute, according to Joe Biden. And I encourage anyone out there, if you're listening to this, may God remove the wool from your eyes and drop the scales from your eyes, as he did the Apostle Paul, and show you the truth. This is not about, getting rid of assault weapons or common sense gun laws, or even keeping guns out of the hands of mentally unstable or people or criminals. Criminals are going to find guns. They get them on the black market. I'm here to tell you that, the bad people and the criminals will always find guns, even if you outlaw them. This is about getting rid of the Second Amendment and disarming the American people, you know, just normal, everyday, law abiding citizens that are gun owners. And the reason why is to step forward with the next part of this agenda. And if you want a preview of what this country would look like without the Second Amendment, take a look at what's been going on in China the last 2 years and recently, where they are welding shut apartment buildings and starving people to death and using battering rams to knock down doors and forcibly removing people from their homes, throwing them into white vans, putting bags over their heads, throwing them into white vans, never to be seen again, hauling them off to concentration camps and murdering them. That's what it will look like in this country if you get rid of the Second Amendment. You look at China to see what it looked like, and a lesser example would be Australia, where they're also unlawfully entering people's homes. The only thing that keeps the government from knocking your door down in the middle of the night and forcibly entering your home is the Second Amendment. So just wanted to point that out. Look at the lockdowns that happened with the whole pandemic. Uh, what do you think that would have looked like without a Second Amendment? How much worse do you think that would have been without a Second Amendment? Just think about that for a moment. And just two scriptures I want to mention related to that. 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And we must be aware of Satan's devices. And in this case, that's what this is all about, is to get rid of the Second Amendment. Obviously, they use these mass shootings, problem, reaction, solution, Hegelian dialect, as a method to force the change they want, which in this instance is to get rid of the Second Amendment, to take the guns away from all citizens. Also, Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. It is the lack of knowledge that destroys people, and not having that insight from the Bible and God, to not be able to see through the workings of Satan and these deceptions and lies. So, this is all about trying to take away the Second Amendment. So, a lot of strange things going on in this Uvalde shooting. The numbers, 18 years old, 66 name numerology, the door propped open for him, the police mistakes. The shooter first goes in at 11:33, the training exercise on 322. Just too much there to turn, to not realize something is amiss with this. So just wanted to put this information out there for you, and I just pray in Jesus Christ's name that eyes and ears are open and hearts have understanding, and I just pray as many people that can come to the Lord do in this hour. So take care, and I'll talk to you real soon.